Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech Talk with Bill. So I'm Bill, your ServiceNow instructor, where I came from a completely non-tech background into a full-time software engineering. And now I will help you do the same. Before we get into today's lesson, make sure you join as a member here on the channel. It supports the ServiceNow free and JavaScript videos I produce, and it unlocks exclusive content. And if you're totally new, don't worry. At the end of the screen, you'll find a guide showing how to set up your own JavaScript development environment using the ServiceNow personal developer instance. Start there so you can follow on the hands-on training. Today we're learning one of the cleanest shortcuts in JavaScript Ternary operator. It will make your scripts cleaner, shorter, and easier to maintain inside your ServiceNow instance. Now let's start with the basics, and I'll explain in the simplest and most practical way. Imagine you're dealing with on what to drink to have, and if it's cold outside, you want a hot drink, and if it's warm, you want something iced. So that's basically an if-else decision in a programming perspective. And if the weather's cold, choose hot drink, else choose an iced or a cold drink. A ternary operator lets you write the entire decision in one clean line instead of multiple lines. And the structure looks exactly like this. It literally reads like, if this is true, then use this, otherwise use that. Now let me show you the normal if-else way and then the ternary way. And before I move forward, I'm gonna comment this out to ensure the code or the compiler will not read this line of code and produce any error. So for those of you who haven't watched on how to apply JavaScript comments, I will also add it at the end of this video. This is why developers love ternary operators. They help you express simple decisions in a cleaner, more elegant way. And you will see from line 3 to line 8, where we use the greater than, evaluating the temperature and providing the decision after implementing a condition. Now, as we move forward on line 11 to line 15, you will see the simplicity of the implementation of the condition and also the decision made. And now let us change the name of this variable so the temperature name will not conflict from line 3. And as we have fixed that, you can now run the script on your laboratory to be able to see the results. And because we code this inside ServiceNow, we use the global system or the GS with the info method or function instead of like the console.log. And that's the proper way to print variables or values using script background. And if this lesson is helping you understand JavaScript better, remember to join as a member. It keeps the channel going and gives you extra resources. So ternary operators aren't just used for messages. You can utilize terming values, assign access levels, prepare data before saving a record, or making clearer business rule logic. And here are the common example starting from 18 up to line 23. And as we set the age or the parameter at line 18, we will have an evaluation greater than or equal to 18. And if it's true, then this line of code will run. If it's false, then basically it will print access is denied. You can also stack ternaries to evaluate multiple conditions. Do this with caution because too many nested conditions, it reduces readability. So from line 25 to line 32, it showcases clean and compact. I don't like you to overdo it. Implementing clean code requires object-oriented programming for readability. and organizing your code. So we'll have a full separate lesson about OOP to help you achieve the expert level and maturity in your coding practice. One of the key examples I'd like to share with you in real-world ServiceNow development, we use to transform values before returning data, especially inside script includes. So you have encountered script includes when you learned about separation of concerns. So if you would like to review that, I will also add it at the end of the screen. And on this line 34, as a structure, this is where we set the value. Since we are only evaluating type string, so we are only using a double equal sign because we have full control of our examples. Now our checker evaluates if they're equal, and if they're not equal, then it will print line 37. Using gs.info, then it will basically create an output of this message. And there you go. This is a complete beginner-friendly walkthrough of JavaScript ternary operators. And before we end this video, I'd like you to have a look on the common pitfalls or mistakes that developers do in implementing ternary operators. So let me delete the whole code to stop clean and the overlapping conflicts. So mistake one is basically implementing too complex using ternary operators. And as you apply code, it's ensuring its readability and considering other developers who is basically working with you to ensure that they understand your implementation. So it's all about reusability, scalability, and also readability. But in simple terms, let's start with readability, and you will see the difference from line 5 to line 13. And using an if else, which is starting from line 17 to line 30. So it's a decision that you have to make to ensure that your code is understandable and also readable, because your code is going to go through a code review. And once your code is being reviewed, they will check your quality of your code and check if it's readable and also organized. So code review is a code quality steps prior to merging your code to the work of other developers. So mistake number 2 is forgetting the use of parentheses. So it all goes back on, again, formatting. Good format means it's readable, it's understandable. And as you can see that although your code is going to run, but using parentheses organizes the separation from the evaluation, what will be the necessary outcome. So commenting in your code like what you're seeing now is very important to ensure and explain the purpose of your code. So that is best practice in coding. So mistake number 3, you can basically embed the assignment into a single variable. It also impacts performance, and in a previous example, it's readability and correct structuring. Although it's going to run, it's the proper way of doing it. And as a new developer, and as you become an expert, your code will be evaluated in your skills depending on how you initiate your code. So adding structure, adding readability and comments shows how a painter or an artist basically works using the best practices. So in the previous lesson, I discussed about the equality sign and what is the difference of the double equals to three equals. So they have two distinct meanings. And to dive deeper on that lesson, I have created that video that you will also find at the end of the screen. And if you found this video helpful and you want more lessons like this, don't forget to subscribe and join as a member to get exclusive scripts and templates. And if you're brand new, click the link showing up on your screen to learn how to set up your developer environment. Thanks for watching, and remember, if I can transition into tech from a non-technical background, I'm pretty much sure you can too.